Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to today's class. Uh, I remain Sunday Opoju, Director of CEO, Director of Sonic Hub Computers. Today, I'm here to teach you how to update a record from the database using MySQL and PHP to update a record from database. As you can see, you are seeing already designed form, web page already designed, formed, a login and a sign up page. This is a sign up page and this is a login page. I've already created a username and a password. So all I need to do is to log in. So by logging in, it will take me to user dashboard. And on this user dashboard, you are having dashboard, you are having profile, settings, messages, um, users, and user then logout. Now, on looking at this, my aim, I've already created in our last class, we have already created a view that is to view data from the database already created. And if I click on users, you'll be able to see that these are the details from the database that have already been registered into this system. They have already been registered. But what we want to look at, how to update a record. How to update a record. Now, from this view we have here the PHP we have already created here. Here, when we click edit, when we click edit, let me go and check on this view and then do some little changes on this form or on this page so that we see what it is. Let me go down, scroll down, let me change this to update. Change this to update. If I change this to update, automatically here we change, right? So what we are looking at how to update a record. Now, if you look at this form, we have already built a form here. If I go back, if you click on this update, it should take you to a form where you can update your details. Now, maybe, for example, I want to change this username. I don't want to use it anymore. I want to use another username, or possibly I want to change my email to another one I have created. All I need to do is to click on update and a new form will pop out. A new form will pop out. As a new form is coming out, the thing is, if you cannot update anything here because you have not written the PHP code to update the record. We haven't done that. So we are going to write a code that will fetch the details and then we'll be able to put in the new records and then update the record, and then automatically the database, it will be updated from the database automatically. That is what we are looking into. So let's quickly divert into this form. The first thing you need to do, you have to create update form. Okay, just like we created here. If you are already in the system, you should know what I'm talking about. For those who are not in the system, don't worry, don't, just relax. We are coming gradually. I'll be dropping our classes one after the other so that you follow us on each step we are going. Okay, the newbies, don't worry, I'm going to drop a beginner class. I'm going to drop a beginner class, so don't worry, just relax and remain patient. I'm dropping this for those who are already in the system, who are finding it difficult to update a record from the database. So let's move forward. Now, we have already created this form. As we have already created this form, what we need to do is to open this form. I'll double click it to open it. If I say let me do this from the beginning to the end, designing of the form and all of that, that is going to take us a lot of time. It's going to take us a lot of time. So my aim is just to teach you how to update a record in the database. That is the target today. So the form has already been designed just to save us time and the stress. That's why I said those of you that are already in the system, you should already understand where we are right now. So what I'm going to do first here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a PHP code that will first of all bring out the details and then you update the record from the beginning. Now, we have here, we are going to enter the PHP syntax, PHP, then I will involve required ones. Then I'll put db connect.php, dbconnect.php, and then semicolon. I know so many will ask me, what does this mean? Now, what this means is that required ones is like we have a script already called dbconnect. This dbconnect that we have here is already inside our folder, is already in our folder here. So what we are saying is that we want to link the script so that both of them can connect together. The updates.php and db.php can connect together. That is why we are using required ones. So the required ones can be used to actually link the two scripts together so that both of them can interact together. That is what this required ones means. You can as well use include. If you cannot use required, you can use include like this. This can still work for you very well. Can work very well for you. All right, but I prefer using required ones. Sometimes I will also use include. Now let's proceed. Now by doing this, it means the scripts, this script db connect, the one in my folder, has already been connected together. They have already connected together, so they are working together right now. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to write a code is set underscore post, then I'll put update. I'll put update. Now where is this update coming from? Where is this update coming from? It's coming from our form here. We all know that we are passing the variable here, which is here, which is the submit button. Under the name called submit button here, we have a variable name that we have already passed in here. So this variable name is what I'm picking out. I'm picking out this name. I want to, is what will be, as soon as we click on update, that button should be activated. That is the button name that is at the top there. So the set is to activate it and make it work. It will check all the variables that are already been defined in this place and then activate the records. That's right. So if that is done, the next thing we are going to look at, we have variable names here. These variable names, we have a variable name here that I've already passed in here. Variable name is coming from our database. In my database here, you check my database here, we have username, and then we have ID, we have username, we have email, and then we have password, and then we have confirm password, and then the date created. Okay, so what we are looking at here today, I want to just make use of just this, just the username, and then what, the email. That is what I want to set to what, update. Those are the two things I want to update. The question is it possible for you to update everything here? Yes, it's possible. It's possible, but we are not looking at updating password today. We are not looking at updating password today, because if I'm to teach you this now, I'm going to teach and also include how to reset a password, and that will take us a lot of time. Let's just focus on only updating the username and then the email. I think that will save us time for today, so that it will not, the code will not be bulky for us. So we take it gradual. So in doing that, I'll pass in the value. I'll create a variable here which is username, and then pass in, it's going to be post, then pass in variable, that's semicolon, and then I'll copy this and then I'll paste. All I'm changing here, I'm only changing this to the email, changing this to the email, because these are the variable. Mind you, it is wrong when you are having here all through lowercase and here you are involving capital letter. Here lowercase and you are involving capital letter here. By the time you will run the code, that code will tell you undefined variable. That is because the PHP is case sensitive. So whenever you are passing a value, whenever you are passing a variable, you always remember that your variable, all of them must be the same thing, the same way they are. So please take note of that so that you will not have this issue of undefined variable. So you can see username is small, lower, all of them are lowercase, spelled lowercase. Come to this place, all of them are lowercase. Email, the same thing, lowercase. If for example I have here to be capital letter, I have here capital letter E, that is to say that this is going to be wrong. It's going to show me undefined variable because from the database here, the email here is not indicated with capital letter E, all is small letter E. So if we run this, it's going to give us undefined variable. So for we to avoid that, we have to ensure that this is small letter all through that. So now we are going to have, after that we are going to have the value. So here I'm going to indicate maybe updates equals to my sqli underscore query, and then I'll open my bracket, and then this is coming from my connection, and then I will give updates users, the users, this is updates. This update is a statement in database management system. We always use it in database. So it is a statement that we use in updating a record, and this users is coming from the database table. This is my database, as you can see, and look here. If you look here, you will see that the database name here is John and the table name here is what? Users. So the users here is the table name. That is what we are saying. Update table name, which is users. Update table name users. Update table name users. The next thing we use set. What are we setting? We are activating the username should be equals to username, semicolon is comma, and email should be equals to email. Email should be equals to email. All right, email should be equals to email. So I'll close that there, and then I'll put semicolon, and then we have if updates. Where is this coming from? If updates. The update is here. We are saying that if this statement is correct, then he is going to execute. If the statement is correct, then he's going to execute. If that is correct, then we should have something like echo then we have alert, then we have updated successfully. We'll close that, close this, and then we close the script, then semicolon. Updated successfully, and then we have, if that is done, it should show us updated successfully, and then give a location where after updating successfully
it should head to. That is after updating successfully.
I will indicate a window. I'll write a code where it will be directed to, which is going to be location, window location, and window location should be dot href, href equals to, then we have, we should go to view.php, view.php. That's what we want. Go to view.php. Right? Let's put this here. Good. Do this successfully. Then it should redirect the location down to what? To view.php. That is what we are seeing in this place. Okay? That's what we're seeing here. Then we can also have what we call S. Again, not updated. Then I can just copy this down. Echo not updated successfully, not updated successfully, not updated successfully. Then the location, I can, the location, I can still leave it as, let me use updates.php, it will still just remain there. Once it's updated, then it should link us to view. But once it's not updated, it should remain at updates.php. That is what we're talking about. And if that is done, then I'm going to have curly braces close here, and then this PHP closes here. This code stops here for now. So we are saying that if this record is set and is okay, it should give us update successfully. That is what we are saying. But if not, it should give us not what updated successfully. Then after this, we have to go down again. There's another code we are still going to write. We're still going to write another code again. So writing the code, I will now use scroll down, and below the body form here, I'm going to write a PHP code here. So I'm going to have PHP, where I can just indicate session start. Don't mind me if I do it at the top too, it's still the same thing, but since I didn't do it at the top, just have to do it here. So here our port is set underscore. So this time around we are using get. We are not using posts. Okay, this time around we are using get to get details from the database. Okay, we want it to get the details from the database, and then we set the update. You cannot just update the record just like that. First of all, get the details from the database, and then we do the updates. That is what we mean by what get the ID. Now the question is, which ID are we getting? This ID is here. This is the ID we are referring to. The ID this is the numbers of the ID. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 here. So we are going to get the row of this ID. That is what we are stating here. So we're going to make the ID, we're going to make it a variable. We're going to declare it a variable. So here we can get, you can get the ID. Sorry, you can get the ID. That's it. So we have that done. So the next thing now, we are going to get a variable, and then we'll write the query, which is going to be my SQLi underscore query. Then here is going to be con, and then the language is that we are going to select all from, what is our table name? Table name is users, where email is equals to id, where email is equals to id. So that is done. Or die my SQLi error, then we indicate this, then semicolon. Now what we are saying here is that you should select all the details from the database, and then select all the details from the database. Now somebody will ask, what does this mean? This is asterisk. It means like, you know, in English language we have something like A double L, which is all. That is, but in computer language, which is programming language, we have what we call all. In database, mostly we use this asterisk to represent all, the word all. That's fetching the details, all the details from the database, for us to see all the details. Now, after this, we will now have a loop, an argument, which is a row, y my SQLi, my SQLi, fetch associate. Fetch associate means fetching all the details. That's what we mean. You can see the spelling is not all spelled correctly. It's not all spelled rightly. So after we abbreviate it, that word ASSOC is called associate. Fetch associate. So here we are going to include our variable. Include our variable here, and then we open our curly braces there. That's it. Then we close this. Now this curly brace we open here needs to be closed. All right, this curly brace needs to be closed, and it needs to be closed outside the form so that it can operate inside the form too, so that all the code can also be working within the form. So I'll come here and open PHP script here. I'll come here, open PHP script here, and then I'll indicate the curly braces here, and then I will close these two curly braces here. So this one and this one, these are the two curly braces here that have been closed here. All right. So remaining one thing I'm going to do here, I think that we are done for that. The next thing is that I'm going to pass in the value. The value here is empty, so we are going to pass in the value here. So we are going to open a PHP script here. So we are going to echo role, and then pass in the username, semicolon, and then this. So we're going to do the same thing, copy this and put inside the value element here, and change this to what? to the email. Change this to the email. So once I do this, let's go and run this code and see what it is. Let's run this code and see what it is. So I'll go to my to my page here. I will open, let me run the code. This is John. In this, I'll sign in. I'll click on users. Then from here, I will click on updates. And then you can see that initially from the beginning, you did not see the username coming up. Okay, you did not see any username, but now as you can see, as soon as I click, you can see that it's bringing out the details from the database now. So let's check if it is correct. The first detail there is number 1, which is Sonero, and then ohe451@gmail2.com. You can see that is the details it has bring out. So let's see, let me update this. Let me put Sonic Hub. Okay, let me put Sonic Hub and then update. Good, you can see updated successfully. As soon as I click OK, it will lead me back to my web. To lead me back to my, this is what something is wrong, which we are going to check where the issue is coming from. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. We are going to check it and then fix why it is so. I'm going to check and see why it is so. Okay. Now let's go back. Let's go back to our code. Let's go back to our code. Okay. I think we omitted something here. Here, where we have this update. There's something we omitted here. We omitted where. Because we said set username to be username, email to be email. After that, we are supposed to have a statement called where, that is the location where it's going to set. At the particular place where the email is, where email is equals to email, and then that's it. Okay, I will refresh this again. Let me go back to update again. Or something is wrong. Too many things. Don't worry, we're going to fix it. But let me add one to see. Let me add 2 here to see an update. All of them too are updating again. So we are going to see where this issue is coming from, so that we can sort it out. Very important. So let me check from the beginning, from the top there. I'm still checking. I think here what went wrong here is just the ID here. I just need to define an ID here such that this can match with this, so that it can pick out from the database can pick up from the database, which is from here. You can pick up from there. And then coming down, I also declare the ID here hidden. I made it hidden so that you cannot fetch it. Okay, it is not a rule that I can just say I want to add an ID at this point here. So I make that particular column, that particular text box hidden. That is why I see that it's not showing there. Right. So at this point, I think our record can now be updated successfully. We can now update our record successfully. So let me try to update a record here. These are the database from the record, and the record in the database, I mean to say, let's say I want to update this one. So all I need to do here right now is to pick it. I will update the both of them, both email and then Sonic Hub at Gmail. I will use the two of them as the same username and email, and then I will update. So if I click OK, you can see that the two names has been updated here. As I update it, mind you, this is now the new email right now that I'll be working on this. So that is how this it is. So this is how you can update a record in a database. So it's very simple. There are other ways you can also use to achieve this. I will not go into that, but this is just the simplest way you can use to update a record in a database. Thank you. If you have any question, you can ask me in the comment section. I'm going to respond to your question as quickly as possible. So see you in the next class. Thank you very much.